guys, welcome back to my channel. This is quite a quick intro. It's actually Sunday today and I'm making Sunday dinner. I'm doing a roast and I realised I've not got a cauliflower cheese recipe on my YouTube, so I'm going to make it quickly for you now. The ingredients list will always be in the description down below. Let's get straight into it and quickly make some roasted cauliflower cheese. Difference is I roast my cauliflower, so wait and see. Okay, so the vibes for Sunday dinner today are a roast dinner. If you didn't know by my accent, obviously I'm British Jamaican, so this is the British side with a little bit of, you know, flavour, a little bit of mix and blend. Okay, so here is some veg that I've prepped. Don't focus on the broccoli, we're not using that, we're using the cauliflower, which this one was a bit small today that I got from the supermarket, but you want to cut them into steaks like this. So you want to like slice it like that. What might happen, which happened with mine because it was small, little bits will break off rather than becoming a steak like this, which is cool. You just want your cauliflower chopped up. It doesn't have to be like that. Then you need some all-purpose seasoning, garlic salt, paprika and vegetable oil. You're going to add like a tablespoon of oil. We're going to add some all-purpose seasoning into this as well. Not too much, maybe like a quarter or half a teaspoon. I'll put all the exact measurements though in the ingredients list below. Some garlic salt and some ground paprika for colour. Mix that all together to almost make like a seasoned oil. And then once that's all mixed up, if you guys can see, I've got a baking tray lined with baking paper. This just means that when it roasts, it will, you know, it won't be hard to clean this pan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out the cauliflower. If you get a big one, you'll probably have like 4 of these steaks, as I like to call them, but we've got like 2 or 3 and then a few pieces of cauliflower here that I've just chopped, washed and put here. Then you just want to get your seasoned oil and a brush and just brush it over the cauliflower. And what this will do is when it roasts, it will get nice and crispy, seasoned. And I did this method as opposed to, like, I used to boil the cauliflower and do it that way. You can, there's no problem with that, but I find that it releases a lot of water and moisture, so this just makes it, you know, a bit like, it dries it out when it releases all the water and stuff, and then it just gives it a nice seasoning as well. It adds some nice flavour to it. So brush it on the other side and then we'll come back as well. Oh, and these little like leaves from the cauliflower are really nice as well, so you can roast those if you want as well. But this shouldn't take long. It should take max 30 minutes, I believe. But I just kind of put it in and then keep checking on it. So once it looks like this, like, it doesn't need to be perfect, you just kind of need it on there like that. We're going to put it in the oven at like 180 and roast this until cooked. Okay, for the next part you're going to need butter, milk and flour. It doesn't really matter what milk you're using at the moment. I've got skimmed milk, but yeah. So, and also this recipe is slightly different because of the amount that I'm making, but I'm going to put 2 ingredients lists in the bottom. One for the one I'm making now and a second one for if you're making it for more people, so that it doesn't feel like, why am I using a less amount? Okay, that's why the pan's so small. So we're going to first of all melt some butter down in the pan. Because I'm making less, it's probably going to be about half a tablespoon of butter. Let's melt that down a little bit more. Make sure you're using plain flour, not self-raising. Actually, I don't really think it matters, but I always use plain flour. Okay, you can keep it on a low heat. You don't want that butter to burn. And then I'm going to add half a tablespoon for now. I might be able to actually add a whole tablespoon. And then whisk it. And you should get a roux. And a roux is basically a thickening agent that makes your cheese sauce thick. I'm going to add a bit more flour there, because that was a small tablespoon. And how it should look when you know to kind of stop adding flour is you add the same part butter that you do flour. So it does kind of seem like I have added a tablespoon of butter to a tablespoon of flour. And then it should look like a paste like this. And that's what you want. Make sure you cook out all of the flour, so all that excess on the side, just make sure that it's all gone into this paste like this. Okay, that's how you want it. Then you're gradually gonna start adding milk in to thicken up your white sauce. So you see how I've kind of left it and now it's going like that? That's what you want. Add in a little bit of milk at a time, so that much. And as I said, the ingredients, the exact ingredients are going to be in the description. Sorry guys, you guys are like... So just mix it, and as you can see what's happening, it's turning into a sauce. Make sure you keep it on low for this part, because you don't want it to burn. Add a bit more milk. Yeah, add a bit more milk. If it goes like that, don't worry, just tap it on the side to get that off. And then just keep mixing it. And you'll see the lumps will start to come out, but basically do not leave the sauce. Like, don't walk away and do something, just stay here and concentrate on it. So look, it's the same thing as making my mac and cheese sauce. So if you make my mac and cheese, you're following the same method as that to make a cheese sauce. And in today's one, I'm not adding fresh mozzarella because I don't have any, but you can add that. That will be in the description below as well. I'm going to keep my milk there, because if I carry on using a spoon, the sauce is where it needs to be, but this could get thicker, so I could need to add more milk, which probably will happen. As I add the cheese, it's going to get thicker, so I'll need to thin it down. Add a bit of red Leicester, and you always add more mature cheddar than red Leicester. Just add that in. So again, just keep it on the low heat and just let this melt gently. Our cauliflower should be about done, so I'm going to show that to you guys as well. So that is what your cauliflower should look like roasted. Like, you could actually eat it like this, but obviously we're making it into the cauliflower cheese. And if you guys are wondering what I'm also cooking in here, I've got this nice juicy spatchcock roast chicken in here. Yum. Takes a little while, just because you don't want to do it on a high heat and then the sauce splits. That's why you keep it on low. And don't vigorously mix it either, just slowly help it melt down. Whilst it's doing that, you could actually add your seasonings in, which is all-purpose seasoning, black pepper, and ground paprika. See how it's almost there, but it's also kind of getting a bit thick. I'm gonna add a little bit more milk to it, and always add a little at a time. Don't go crazy, because that's how, if something goes too thin, then it's hard to get it thick again, and you know, vice versa. You just wanted to add things little at a time so that you can manage how it turns out. Now our sauce is ready. Delish. And then here we have like an oven-proof dish that we're going to put our cauliflower into to bake our cauliflower cheese. So just put you guys there. Our cauliflower cheese now. Cauliflower cheese, our roasted cauliflower, which is here, looking all delicious. And you see, if you boiled that, obviously you'd have all that excess water. With this, there's nothing, it's just pure flavor, which is exactly how you want it. And also every now and then, I've turned off the heat, but I'm just giving it a little mix because I don't want it to go like firm, basically. So what I like to do when I'm making a bigger one, what I actually do is I'll layer some of the sauce and I'll put the steaks on top of each other. If you go to my TikTok, you'll see exactly how it looks. I'll put a link to it down below as well. But because of how small these pieces of cauliflower are, I'm just gonna layer it like this instead. If you go and look at my TikTok, you'll get exactly what I mean. This cauliflower is small in comparison to the one that I normally do, so doing that method just wouldn't make sense. Okay, then, as I said, we've got our sauce here, looking delish, and you just want to pour that sauce all over the cauliflower. And then you're literally just going to top it with your cheeses. I like to go with the red Leicester first and then the Mature Cheddar. As I said, you would normally have mozzarella here, so you'd put mozzarella on top, then you'd put red Leicester, then you'd put Mature Cheddar, okay? But today we're missing that out. I'm going to top it with your red Leicester first. And then once you've finished, bake this in the oven at like 180, 190 for about 20-25 minutes until golden, basically, like you're baking mac and cheese. This is your cauliflower cheese. Get it in the oven for about 20-25 minutes at 180 to 190 until golden. So now our cauliflower cheese is ready. The rest of our dinner isn't, so I can't show you the whole thing. But here is the cauliflower cheese. So when it gets nice and golden on top, you're good to go. But that is it. This portion will serve about, let me say, 4 people. Obviously, because the whole dinner isn't done, I'm not going to do a taste test. But as I said, here it is. You guys really can't see it. Hold on. There it is. If you like this one, give it a big thumbs up and drop a comment down below. Follow me on all my socials, Chanell A. Wallace on TikTok, and Food with Chanell on Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. You already know the vibes. Also, I'm on Snapchat giving you guys behind the scenes. That's Chanell A. Wallace, and you can subscribe to exclusive content on